Yeah, I thought it was really good to get out and practice this past week. It's the first time I've been able to practice really in about a week and a half, just due to so many games. We had 3 games in 6 or 7 days. So we're just trying to get through, especially with a short kind of roster right now that we have. We're just trying to get through to the next game. So felt good. We had 3 good days of practice. I thought we really cleaned up our offensive end. I thought our ball moved the best it's moved all year. And that has to be our identity on that end. Like, we have to be a player movement, ball movement team. We don't have any one-on-one ISO players. And shoot, we had 22 assists on 24 made field goals tonight, which is a great sign for us. So I thought we made a lot of improvement on that end. I always say great shooting teams are great passing teams. Right, those teams get good looks, and I thought Billy was a beneficiary of that early on in the game, and then Mekhi and Ryan were as well throughout the game. So proud of our group. Obviously, this is just one game. You got to move right on to the next one. We got Jackson State on Tuesday night, so we'll start preparing for them tomorrow.
Coach Chris Vogt, Journal News here in town. We were talking earlier. It's nice to kind of get that early momentum rather than trying to play from behind. How was Billy Smith, just that spark that you guys were able to kind of work off of?
Yeah, Billy was ready. Billy's a terrific shooter. Obviously hit 5 threes early, but I thought our ball was moving. We were cutting really, really hard, and then our ball was flying around. Anderson got trapped in the post. He skipped out opposite. Billy gets a wide open 3. Or Morgan made an incredible cut that nobody will glorify ever, but that's the reason Billy got the wide open 3. All right, we try to really clean up we got to be a hard-cutting team, and our ball's got to move. It has to. We got to play deeper into the shot clock, right? And I thought we did that tonight. We pushed it when we needed to, and then we also said, you know what? Let's execute when we need to. Again, Billy got us off, like you said, to a great start, and proud of him, and we have all the confidence in the world of him shooting the ball.
I felt like the shot selection was there, 64% in the first half.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on that shot selection?
Yeah, much better. Again, I sometimes it takes freshmen a little bit of time to learn college basketball. Listen, this isn't high school. And we have all these new transfers. We have guys that are out as well. We're just got a kind of a little hodgepodge group right now. And just figuring out who we are. What is the identity of our team on that offensive end? We have to be committed to I call it first 10, last 10, which is we want to explore in the first 10 seconds of the shot clock. We want open layups and open threes. And if not, then we got to play in the last 10 seconds. Be committed to getting that ball reversed, right, and then working together to get a great shot.
Mekhi kind of was the tone setter in the second half. You have Billy Smith in the first half, Mekhi in the second half. How cool is it to have a player to say, hey, anytime, any game?
Yeah, I think that the go-to guy for us is going to be the open guy, right? And, so they started really locking in on Billy, right, in the first half. Well, then all of a sudden, it's like things started opening up for Mekhi. I was really proud of Mekhi. He didn't force things in the first half. All right, that's growth and maturation, right? Like, some guys will say, well, shoot, I haven't really had a touch. I'm the leading scorer on the team. I got to get one. And that's being that's not a good play. Good players don't do that. You do what the game tells you to do. He had a couple incredible passes to Billy. And listen, Billy was a beneficiary of it. Then in the second half, guess what? Then Mekhi was a beneficiary of some other really good passes and cuts by his teammates. And that's the way good offense works. And hopefully our guys, if there's one thing they can take away from today's game, it's that. The games, you got to play the game the right way. If you play the game the right way, man, it'll always work out.
It's not going to jump off the stat page, but how much does it help you, or in what ways does it help you to have Safford back out there for you?
Well, it's like, man, I'm swapping in one guy and swapping out one, right, with Julian. He's been battling the flu. And Julian probably could have played today. It was about 50-50, but we obviously didn't play him just because, man, he hasn't been out of bed in a couple days. So, but it was nice having Morgan out there. Morgan is he just gives you that poise. You can tell he's played college ball. He's got command. He's not a freshman, right? Like, he instructs. He sees things. He's tough. I mean, he's a stat sheet stuffer. I mean, what did he have? He had 9 points, I think 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 turn. It's a heck of a line, and he guarded their team's best player as well. And did a great job on him. So he's a winner. I mean, we need him out there. And I know this. It makes me look like I'm a good coach when he's out there on the floor.
I asked Mekhi a little bit about it, but how did you feel their response was to the kind of pressure this team has with their their quick hands, their speed, and their just pressure all over.
Yeah, I thought it was really good in the first half. We had 9 turns. We were a little bit casual with some of those in the first half, like floating some passes. And the only way for these guys to learn, quite honestly, is they got to go through it. Like Ryan Mabry, a couple times floated a couple passes. Billy floated a pass. It's like, buddy, you guys can't do that. Again, like, this isn't high school, right? Like, Jaquel did the same thing. And, again, those guys will learn. They're getting baptized into college basketball. But I thought Mekhi and Morgan and Anderson, those guys did a tremendous job of showing poise against that pressure because they couldn't guard our offense. They were really struggling. So what they did is they scrapped it. They said, hey, we're just going to run and jump and trap the entire game. That was their game plan the rest of the way after we blew it open early. And, so all of a sudden, then you got to meet your pass, got to value each pass, all the little things. And I think we got to continue to get better in those areas, and we got to finish the game a little better. Like, I had to put Mekhi back in at the end. I didn't want to put Mekhi back in, but I felt like we needed to just to make sure that we finished the game the right way.
You had kind of indicated that the other team was going to hit the boards, offensive boards and they had some second chance points and putbacks in the first half and that.
Yeah.
How do you think overall your team handled that with them getting inside either off the high pick and roll or second chance points?
Yeah, so I thought they tried to make an adjustment at halftime. They just started going all ball screens. I mean, they just started spreading that thing out and trying to put big fella Anderson in ball screen defense, and we got to figure that piece out moving forward because they were trying to set about 3 in 1 possession to try to wear them out, right, to get them tired. And that hurt us early in the second half. I mean, we made a little bit of an adjustment in the second half after that, and I thought it was a lot better. Our coverage was better for him, to defend 3 in 1 possession. I think you mentioned the glass. They had 6 early, I think, in the first half. I think they finished with 9, which was better. It got better as the game wore on, but we got to set the tone the right way. And we played some big teams. So listen, Indiana, Georgia, we probably won't see any teams as big and as athletic as those guys the rest of the way. But we got to hit somebody in the chest. Listen, I tell our guys all the time, send a message. If you get a foul, I will applaud it. I will applaud it. It just sets the tone, right? The toughest team always sets the rules. How's the game going to be played? Oh, you know what? If you're a guy that can crash and you're a good offensive rebounder and you feel like you get a free run to the glass, you smell blood the rest of the game. I'll be on, like Will Stevens. The reason I'm starting Will in Indiana, when we played against Indiana, he put Trace Jackson Davis and Race Thompson on their rear ends. He did. He sets the tone. He's just physical. He just plays hard. And we need that. And we need that in order to be a good team.
Won't keep you too much longer, Coach,
Yeah.
but Georgia, Marshall, Indiana, when does this become a must-win game? I mean, this is a big win to snap that snide.
Yeah, I think, listen, we played a really tough schedule. It's been brutal. Marshall's a really good team. Indiana's really good. And Georgia's obviously got high major talent. But we had a shot. We were right there with Georgia. And I felt we got worn down as the week kind of went on, especially with a short roster. I don't know if I'm ever going to say anything's a must-win. My whole thing is, listen, this thing's a marathon. Can we just get better, 1% better every day? And if we have that mentality, have a funny feeling once we do get healthy too, we're going to get to where we want to go, especially in MAC play.
What did it feel like to finally play a home game and finally put a W on the board?
It feels good. It took a lot of it when to get here. We had 3 good days of practice. We played hard, played together. We had some shots today in the show. So whenever we hit shots, everything, it makes the game a lot easier.
Mekhi, Chris Vogt, Journal News here in town. It seemed like Smith had that first half going. You ended up closing out the second half. What was the difference between the first half and the second half for you?
For us, we just wanted to stay consistent throughout the entire game, play together, make the extra pass and just take good shots, and that's what we did. Billy started off right for us, and me being a point guard, being the extra coach on the floor, I had to finish it off, and that's what we did.
It looked like this team had some really quick personnel and with good hands in that. How'd you feel about playing this kind of a team and how the response was to that kind of pressure?
They're a good team. We knew out the gate they were going to come, pressure, full court press, and just do different things, throw different looks at us. Like I said, we wanted to stay consistent throughout the game and play our game plan. We just stayed patient, made extra passes, and took the good shots.
I felt you guys had control of the game from start to finish. I mean, I think they got in within 6 points. I think maybe early second half, late Yeah, early second half, but just able to consistently stay ahead. How was that, a decider for you guys?
All of that goes into trusting each other, playing together, make sure we execute our game plan, play for Miami, and, we came out with a W.
Kind of set the tone early going. How did you feel those first, couple minutes, and did they want to cover you, or what was up with that?
Well, I thought that our player movement and ball movement was good, and I was just doing what our game plan was, and it led to open shots, good kicks, and obviously I was glad to see him go down.
I mean, you probably felt like I'm pulling the trigger every time. I mean,
I didn't. Well, I want to stick to
doubt?
what. I mean, I wanted to stick to what Coach said, but the way that game started, I happened to be open that many times, and I'm just going to shoot it confidently because that's what they want me to do.
What's been working for you guys? When you guys are ahead, what worked for you guys?
I think the biggest thing for us was sticking to our game plan. We get a lead, and maybe in the past we've started breaking from the game plan, letting other teams into the game. And the biggest thing for us was just sticking to player movement, trusting each other, and everything the coaches preach.
Did you kind of feel confident with the shot selection today? You guys were 64%, I think, in the first half. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I thought our shot selection was probably the best it's been all year. Just extra passes, down and ready. I think it's the best we've been.
Awesome. Mike?
I'm not sure how much you got to see preparation-wise of them coming in, but was there anything that you knew coming in where you might be able to get those kind of open shots, you or somebody else?
Well, we know they're a really good team. They play fast. We knew that they kind of try to speed us up, random traps, pressure, stuff like that. So we knew that maybe they would double Anderson in the post, leading to those backside passes. And we thought that if we just moved on the backside, it would lead to open shots for us.
Guys have been playing pretty many games up until this last little stretch here. Have you been able to work on anything other than just preparing? Because I know there's a lot of new phases. How's it coming together, and have you been able to work on things, or is it just game-by-game prep?
Well, it's a lot of game-by-game prep, but we've been having an emphasis on certain things. Like this week, we focused a lot on ball movement, player movement, like I keep saying, fewer dribbles, more passes. And obviously, we haven't had our whole group together yet this year. We had a different group of guys this week in practice than we've had, so far. But I thought that Coach did a good job of having us all mesh, practice together, and get prepared to play.